Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Wild Raven Tarot. I am your host, Bobby. Today, we are doing a show about Josh Kanowitz, Mr. Floyd's universe. This is behind the cards, and we're going to see what goes on in Josh's life, how he came to his spiritual path, how it's progressed, and where he sees it going. Hi, Josh. How you doing?
Great. Wow. Grateful to be here, Bobby. Thank you for the invite and looking forward to the interview here. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
I love it. Okay, let's say hi to a couple people. Oh, as always, we've got Hershey. Yeah. Remember to do all the YouTubey things and then puff puff pass. Yes. If you're watching at home and you're smoking them, think of me. All right, we've got Old Windwalker joining us. Oh, look, my best friend Joey is here, the Veiled Cottage Witch. Christine Fryer.
Love you, Christine.
Millie, what's up? The Jennifer. Oh, that's a great name. Oh my gosh.
What, brother?
Only true Gen Xers know the joy of that.
Yeah, right.
All right, we've got Maru. What's up, girlfriend? Maru, later tonight, after I've got a reading after this, so after that I'll message you, and I want to hook up another night for us. All right. All right, people are going to be joining us. Krista, how you doing, love? People are going to be joining us as we go by. Now, for those who have never seen the show before, what I do is I believe everybody on this planet has a story. And I am interested in those stories. Where are my banners? Uh-oh. Well, that's not good.
What's
Oh,
that?
it's okay. I don't. Well, normally I have little banners that I bring up when I ask the questions, but I must be doing something wrong in StreamYard. You know, the StreamYard is upgrading and doing all kinds of stuff lately, and I keep getting lost.
I know they do. You take a good product and then you start throwing wrenches at it. There you go.
Well, I was more upset when they doubled the price overnight. That
Oh my!
was
I'm still using the free version, so I didn't know they doubled the price.
oh yeah, I was paying like 24, 25, and then my next billing cycle it was 50. So yeah.
Oh wowzers!
Timmy, how you doing, bro? All right, let's do this. So I don't have those pop up. So imagine that they're at the bottom of the screen, you guys.
We got this.
Josh, our first card is going to be the actually. Nope, I don't have any.
Oh, you're doing that little one across the room. Turn on what?
I thought I had a deck organized and ready to go. Not. All right. It's fully imaginative tonight.
All right, we can do that. We can do that.
All
It's
right.
we're in the shadow period for Mercury retrograde anyway, so
Perfect. That makes sense.
exactly. Welcome.
All right. So, Josh, how would you describe yourself?
How would I describe myself? That's a good question. Determined, somebody who's learning. Someone who's learning. I'm learning about who I am and what I've missed. Somebody who's clearing. I'm really myself doesn't exist. I'm source. But let's be honest. So describing myself would be really I'm describing the body, but the source I'm perfect, right? So as body Josh, I'm clearing trauma. I'm full of trauma, and I was a mess, and I'm clearing it all up. And so that's why you see me here, is because I'm standing in that energetic light. Because yeah, I know that I'm source, and I'm carrying that through the sitting here in the dark for 10 long years.
How did you come to your spiritual path? When did you realize that there was more going on than meets the eye?
Right. So when did I have my transformer moment?
Great.
Basically for myself, when I was 5 years old, and this can be quoted by a few people here. I was telling people that I'm just God walking around, so that God can just experience God. That's it. So he can experience himself. And people would look at me like I've lost my rocker. Right. This is like 1980. And people look at me like I lost my mind. In 78, 79. And I'm telling people is
Right.
I watched a movie and it had a profound effect. The Man Who Saw Tomorrow, right, with Orson Welles. It's a movie about Nostradamus, right? And so I
Mhm.
watched it, and it had this profound effect. And all of a sudden, I had this epiphany that, like, getting up and going to work, like in your future, not like my grandparents, but like my parents' future, may not be like eventually may not be the thing, right? And I kept starting to feel all of this is going to change in my lifetime. And as time went on, the next biggest shift, all that just kind of settled in, and trauma and events in life, and it all gets buried, right? And so then it comes back a bit. I'm in the army, and I'm getting ready to leave the army, and I'm watching Neil Donald Walsh from Good Morning America. And so he Conversations with God Book One. I didn't know it existed, but I'm meant to be watching Neil at that moment on Good Morning America, which we don't watch now. But yeah, and so and right, exactly. But Donald's on there, and the universe does what it does, and he's like, "You're just God walking around." That 5-year-old epiphany came right back, and I'm like, "Well, duh, I know that." But I had no intrinsic feeling in that, and so that's kind of where it all started from. Is that, and then Neil actually coming back with the, "Hey, wait a minute, you are source. What are you doing here? Wake up." And so that really way back in the 97 would have been the first, where I really started just ever so, opening that door, so to speak, ever so small as it was at the time.
That's that's interesting that you put it that way, about recognizing, um, because I honestly believe when we have psychic flashes, time is fluid. Um, I believe that when we get, or I get, flashes of the future, it's actually me remembering the past. It's all wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, as Doctor Who would say. But our next question is from the magician. Um, how did you start to structure things when you first realized you had, well, I'm assuming you felt you had a responsibility to help others with your gifts. Um, what made you decide to start telling people about what you could do?
It wasn't even the channeling that started me on YouTube. It was just I've been in the dark for so long, and I realized I've been in the dark since I was two. Um, Now I didn't realize it even when I started YouTube. Um, but I've been in the dark for so long, climbing out of the hole that I had put myself in, and not even realizing that was just one level that I was climbing up out of. That I found this light that I just felt I needed to share it. It's just something that came internally. It's just like I can't explain it. It was just like I found a level where I could find some peace and find some sunshine when I never saw it, and wanted to be able to help somebody. I'm a Cancer. I'm a Hyoka empath, and if I'm going to label myself as any, which I
I
don't really
did
feel like
not know you
labels.
were a Heyoka empath too. I am a Heyoka empath, and we will talk about that later tonight.
Definitely. But so I could always feel people's pain, and people would always want to tell me their what's going on in their universe and lead off with their traumas and dramas when they meet me. And so yeah, so in that I stopped leading off in my trauma to an extent. Leading up, the shift was big enough in my universe that I wanted to spread some of that light, and I felt also I'm sitting here in Colorado, not really knowing anybody, so I wanted some kind of be seen as well. I'm not going to lie. So there was a part of that, like, hey, I've got to be, let me be seen here, that sort of thing.
Right?
Just, just as well, and it's kind of breaking out of that shell that I've been locked in. It was a way to, if I'm not beating people physically, at least try to bang down that door, knock down the door, and get some light into my universe as well. So it was a two-way street, really.
It took a long time to realize that not everybody was raised the same way I was, with a spiritual family, a spiritual community, cauldron stirring, broom riding, card carrying witches and stuff. Um, it came as a shock when I was a teenager to realize that not everybody did this shit.
Oh,
um,
right. Sure.
and it came as a shock when I realized not everybody had empathy for other people. So standing up and saying you're an empath and that you care about other people takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength to lean into that truth. There are people who may find their truth, but they're not leaning into it. So, who would you say was the most encouraging and supportive for you when you first came out of the, I would say broom closet, came out of the broom closet, but
Honestly, the first I had already walled off so many people, including my parents and everybody else. There was nobody when I came out of the broom closet. There's there was nobody physically. There was nobody anywhere. It was just me. Um, I had one friend I was
wow.
talking to on in Canada on the phone occasionally, but otherwise there was nobody. I had estranged my mother for 50 plus years. I had estranged my father pretty much, and we talked, but we never got to any sort of deep level of anything. So, and there was just a few other people that I would talk to, but there is nobody. There's nobody in my universe who truly understands. My mother is the closest. Now that I'm de-estranging myself from my mom, and back, unwinding the karmic and bringing it back together. The closest thing, honestly, is my mother, who understands. And then on the channel wise, there was a few people that kind of came into frame. Annie and Millie, to were like the first of like the old school that showed up on the channel, and grateful. And it was seeing having people see that light that really started to promote me, propel me, I should say, and moving forward. But even to this day, I sit up here in Colorado. I don't know, so I know one person basically, and yeah, she's not in the light in any form or fashion, and she's in her own light, but not in that, not exactly, but not in the light. So yeah, so
What
I'm still kind of trotting this in physically alone in a lot. I mean, pretty much.
That's amazing. Our next card is the Emperor, which is about structure, authority, and forward moment. Well, structure and authority. Um, w- how would you classify? And I know this is weird. Um,
Sure.
I hate it when people say, "Well, what kind of witch are you?" or "What kind of psychic are you? What
Oh, okay,
flavor are
okay.
you?"
No,
Um,
this makes sense.
for me, it's just if you are, you are, and it kind of encompasses everything. But what type of gifts do you have?
All right, so I'm a pattern worker for one, so I can talk to you, and it won't take long, within minutes. I can generally connect the dots to your traumas, your behaviors, and then the patterns, the things that you'll bring up in your universe, things, patterns in, like, I can see into, like, this is your mom trauma and this is what's going on and this is because of that. So I'm kind of like, you would say, like Carl Jung. I'm like kind of like a living in a lot of ways. I can radiate very well with Carl Jung and what his teachings and what he promoted. And so, like, I do one-on-one sessions, and so I'll sit down, and people ask me, tell me what's going on, tell me the trauma, tell me, and I can help them walk through that and see it in a much bigger way. Like that, being a Hayoka empath, I can help them to see what they're missing and the patterns that they keep spinning in their universe. Especially if I get to know you, I can real easily. Second gift I have is I channel. So I'm a open channel. I started as a trans channeler, but now I'm an open channel, and which means that when I channel, I'm already open to channeling. I don't have to do anything to bring it in, and you don't see me in a trance. I can walk, I can talk, I can chew gum, I can literally drive a car and channel if need be. I've eaten, I've cooked on and channel. I talk with Archangel Raphael, and I'll be cooking dinner. It's kind of an interesting deal. Thirdly, I'm a gray worker as well. So No, go ahead, Bobby.
No, I was going to ask about the deities you channel, but I'm going to kind of circle back to that.
No, okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll come back to that. And then thirdly, I'm a gray worker as well, so I'm a gray agent. So what does that mean as a gray agent? So if you have unhealed, I'm not the most popular man in the room at times because what happens is when I walk into the room, somebody's got to do it, and I don't want to pin this on myself, but I notice my own patterns, right? Um, I'm the guy who will wake you up out of the trauma slumber that you're sitting in, right? So if you're going to have an adult temper tantrum, it's going to be in front of me. If you're going to slip into trauma, I'm going to pull it out of you, and you're gonna blame me most likely, probably, but it's not. But that's what gray agents do, right? I'm here to mirror what you've done fixed in yourself. Unfortunately or fortunately, it's one of my gifts, and so I accept it. But if you're on the path of healing, then I don't trigger you. But if you're going to be that, like, the best way I can put it is like just that old style egotistical 1980s kind of jockey kind of I'm going to trigger you, and you're not going to like me, and you're probably going to
What
want to
is
punch me.
what's your sign?
I'm a
It's
Cancer.
you're a Cancer. Yeah.
I'm a Cancer with
Okay.
a Virgo
I'm a
moon to top
Leo.
it off. So a Leo, perfect.
Yeah. So astrology is a whole topic. I wrap astrology up in my readings, but tarot is my chosen tool. Do you have a chosen tool, or is
Not
it just
specifically,
okay?
but I'm going to wrap back just so we don't forget here. As far as who my channel, I channel Archangel Raphael, Saint Germaine, Goddess Isis, Kuan Yin, Sekhmet, White Buffalo, Calf Woman, Archangel Michael. Occasionally, the energy's kind of insane, and my heart doesn't really appreciate it. Um, and then anybody else, I don't know. I'm open to channel others, but those are the primary guides I've been working with. Especially White Buffalo, Calf Woman, Sekhmet, and Goddess Isis. I've been working a lot with them because I've been really a broken divine feminine, and so they've been working on helping me heal that. And so through years of conversation, it just became natural to we ended up. My first channeling was through, and my main channel is Saint Germain. Out of anybody, it's going to be Saint Germain as my main channel. But yeah, as far as any specifics, I use oracle cards. My favorite deck. There's a deck that came out by Kelly Kolodny, Archangel Raphael. Since she channels Archangel Raphael. I got it on the channel through one of our members through Krista. You may know her, Blindly Inspired, and so she won it on the channel there and sent it to me gratefully, and so I've fallen in love with that deck. I work with Sekhmet, and she works with Delirians, and then of course Archangel. Raphael and Saint Germain are pivotal in the deck, and
The
so
very
and those are my
first
two.
store, the very first store I ever worked at was called Raphael Gifts and Healing Arts Center. So that's
Oh,
why
how
it's
awesome!
just close to my heart there. Um, was it? How did you feel realizing you were an open channel?
Um, at first, I was like, "Why me? What's going on here?" Now and it didn't take long to see it as a gift. And even my first channeling, I knew that it had to be shared in some fashion, and so I piled it up and threw it on the YouTube. It took me like 7 hours to figure out how to get it on YouTube, but we got it up. And it felt amazing, and it still does to this day. There's nobody physical that I've ever shared my channeling with, and other than I used to work at a crystal shop, and so occasionally people would come in, and if I picked up on the right energy, or if they were in a sitch or came in looking for a crystal based on something emotional going on in their universe or something, then yeah, something situate, then I could channel at that point, and I would channel in front of them. I used to, and last summer I was channeling at the park. But it feels amazing. What it feels, it's a responsibility, and what I'm noticing is that. I'm also noticing that all of that channeling, as much as I'm channeling for everybody else, is really also just them trying to help me as well. Each and every, like today's channeling is definitely, if you watch today's channeling, it's definitely about them in a lot of ways, also giving me a swift kick in the kabuli as well, so to speak. But it feels amazing. It's a big responsibility when you really think about it.
It is. Working with Lord Hermes, it's kind of he's like a switchboard, so everybody goes through him to me. um, and Lord Hermes and Lady Hecate. So, um, have you always wanted to help people, or did that come as a surprise? You mentioned the military, so I see you have a protector spirit about you. Um, have you always felt that calling to help people?
Yes, yeah, I've always had that. I guess you make like the sheepdog mentality if you get that idea there. Um, but yeah, I I have this recollection that I was part of the wars, the Orion Wars, that this right, the Orion Wars, and I don't know. I applied once to be a cop, and then of course I kind of got my head back together once I figured that out. But they wouldn't take me anyways because certain things I did in high school. But I've always had, yeah, I've always felt like I want to help in a bigger way. Like I'm here to bring some sort of bigger help, like some sort of bigger love um,
It
to humanity.
I want to tell everybody out there that it is never too late to start your spiritual journey. Um, I didn't start my second wind until I was in my 50s. I had my first win and then my second round of, okay, now you've got a responsibility, hit in my 50s. And I'm gonna break from everything right now and do this because I it's on my mind. In this deck, this is the cutest freaking little deck, you guys. You all know how
Oh,
scary my decks are. I like skeletons. I like darkness. I like look at how cute these suckers are.
oh,
There's a card in here called Second Life, I think is what it's called, and it's about doing just that, starting your second life. It sounds like you started your second life as a kick-ass protector and guide. Um, have you had any blowback from people?
no, not at all. Because there's not too many people in my universe. The deck kind of got cleared before this all came to fruition. But no, I haven't had any blowback. I've not had anybody stalk me on YouTube. No crazy on my channel. No email crazy. No one. I did have one blowback. No, I did have one of my. I used to put the location of where I lived on my, which I don't do anymore. But the locate, I'd fill in the location tab, and so there was one of my channel visit people who own my channel who tried to look me up. But other than that, no, I've not had any blowback, family or otherwise. My dad, he has the full frontal dementia, so he doesn't know if I'm on YouTube or not. And my mother thinks it's great because he can see it as I'm reaching out and healing. Teacher heal thyself, right? And so I'm finding my own light, and she's giddy that she's getting to see my healing on YouTube because I pretty much we had an estranged relationship for 50 years.
Do you have anybody in your family that you know of that has had similar gifts?
No, not at all. Maybe, possibly, and I really haven't dug into her history. My Aunt Shani was considered to be kind of that energy, like white witchy and very kind of. She may have had those gifts, and so maybe I've been told that I kind of take off of from her, but I've never really had anybody explore or explain to me or any of her gifts or anything otherwise. But and that's even before any of this. I mean, I'm just coming out of school. I've been like truly isolated and yeah, like just started talking to my mom again after 10 years just a few months ago, like 2 months ago, three
You
months ago.
mentioned mom trauma. I'm dealing with that too. Actually, I'm going out to visit her in a couple weeks, or next month. So buckle up, Buttercup. Shit's gonna happen.
That's it. Favor there. Yeah. Well, for me, it wasn't mom trauma, it was me. I had something happen at 2. And so it left me thinking my mother was unsafe and she ended up in the hospital and I ended up with a rather unnice babysitter. And so 6 weeks later, she comes back, and I've already got my primary. I've had a past life regression session, so my primary wound is being abandoned. And 7 lifetimes ago. in like Scotland or Ireland. And yeah, so I can see it, and I saw it clearly. And so having her disappear for 6 weeks, and then having issues with the babysitter, we can figure out what those issues might be too. Behind that, I strained her. I locked her out for 50 years. So I'm just coming back to building any sort of relationship with her. And we didn't talk, or generally didn't talk, even when I lived with her for 20 years. We never really spoke or anything. I just lived in my room, and yeah.
I feel that. Um, what? I'm trying to remember my questions. Um, this was so poorly done, and I apologize. This is
No,
not how
no,
movies
it's
work.
okay. It's
Um,
truly okay.
that's okay. We'll
It's
play it by ear.
Yeah, we can wait.
So
We can wait.
the next card up is the Wheel of Fortune. This is fate, destiny. Um, how would you describe your destiny going forward? What do you think your expansion is going to bring into your world?
Well, my next lesson is love. My biggest lesson is love because I blocked it out for 7 lifetimes. Um, and as I keep wait, as I mean, Goddess Epiphany keep having more. He keeps revisiting me, and more things keep going. You, you gotta love this energetic. You're just sitting there. It's like, wait a minute, and it does energetic epiphanies that happen out of the blue. And so as these things keep occurring, what I've noticed is that I've really put a box around myself, and I really boxed out love, and such in a tremendous way. And so for me, what's next is just to let in more love, to learn more love, honestly, and to allow myself to open up to that, because when you've been pulled off for 50 years, you know, it
Right.
never I opened up, right? I never Right, exactly. Yeah, it's at age 52, it's kind of a different deal. But so allowing that to myself to just like let go and allow that to happen is really part of the deal at this point. And that's
It
really where I
wasn't
stand as far as my next.
it wasn't that I was walled off for 50 years, but I felt unworthy for 40 years. Does that qualify? I
Absolutely, I
felt
felt
like
unworthy as for everything.
yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Um and I would like to point out to anybody watching, those feelings that we're talking about, those are bullshit. These are things to rise above and get
Exactly.
past. Um
Exactly. The reason why I felt that way is because I felt small from what happened to me at 2 and had to hold that story up. When you can see that you don't have to be the small story anymore because you know what the small story is that was holding you into that frame, then you can let it go. But I did if
mm,
I had not known what happened to me at 2, then I'd still be sitting in that energy and not knowing. I started having panic attacks because it was rising to the surface.
would you be the type of spirit in the future to start teaching, or do you teach channeling or spiritual work?
Eventually, I might. Do I have yeah, I have teacher blood in me. My dad was a teacher for a short minute until somebody put a zip gun on it in school. So he was a teacher for like 3 weeks, but he went through schooling to be a teacher, and then when they pulled the gun on him, he's like, "That's it. I don't even want to do this," and he quit. But it isn't. Yeah, it is in my blood. And actually, I've taught other things before, like professionally, being training departments and stuff. So yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I don't know how I teach channeling though, because it came natural to me. But again, Saint
Right.
Germain saying, if you were set up to teach channeling, he said, "Don't you think I teach you how to teach channeling?" So exactly. So we don't have to really work exactly. So I have the greatest teachers behind me to help me to teach. But yeah, eventually that's one of my goals, of course, is to do. Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny you say it like that, with it, they're like, "Don't you think I would teach you?" Because sometimes when I get an insight or a flash on what I have to do, now it's at the point where I go, "Okay, so that's what we're doing." Let all right, let's do this, Brutus. Um,
Right.
yeah, you can't. I learned a long time ago. You can't get away from what you're meant to do. I tried. I
Mm-mm.
tried. No. So the
Nope.
death card is the 13th card. Um, what would you say was the biggest unexpected change that happened to you as an adult?
Biggest unexpected change. The dark falling into the dark night of the soul. Honestly, as an adult, without question, it was this when the switch, and it's a body switch that we don't control. A source, it just happens. And when that switch came across, and everything went from light to dark, literally overnight. And I went from eating 2 squares a day to eating every other day, and the TV went off, and I watched TV 24/7 because I had no universe in a lot of ways. It was my universe, and the TV went off and never went back on. Yeah, that it was it's gonna sound crazy, and there's nothing tied to this, guys. But it was the day, and I can mark it because it was the day that Trump first got elected. The first when he gave his acceptance speech, TV went off and it never went back on. Yeah, and it has nothing. The two causation is not correlated. Correlate. It does not. They don't two aren't. It just happens to be that marker in time that I can use. But yeah, it was that day that the body went. All right, it's time, and then everything kind of collapsed from there. And if you hear a horn, that's my. Sorry about
I
that.
think that collapse, that inner collapse, was necessary. It's kind of the tower moment that destroys us and makes us rebuild ourselves better, faster, stronger, as Lee Majors used to say. Um,
Right.
I have the question I have is on temperance. Temperance is about healing. Um, when did you realize your words did have a healing effect, and your laughter, which, in case people don't know, the jokes that Josh makes aren't just jokes, they're part of his tools. Um,
Thank
Josh
you.
heals through laughter, don't you?
I never thought about that. I
You're a
guess.
Hey Yoga empath. That is, we are the
Yeah,
sacred clowns. We heal through laughter.
that's true.
Um, so those jokes that you make aren't just jokes. Those are the way we worm into people's soft spot to find out what their healing spot needs to happen. Um, I'm still amazed at people who pick up the the title of healer and go forward. Our world right now needs healing more than ever, and it's people like us, just by existing and telling people, hold on, you got this, you can fight. Um, we talked about the dark night of the soul, which leads into our next card, number 15, the devil card. How did you break out of that?
I'm still breaking out of it. And I think it's a process. I think honestly, once you get into it, it's a process for the rest of your life to break out of it in some form or fashion. Um, it'll always be a part of you. There's always going to be that because now there's that delineation. I know my dark side because I've sat in it, and now I know my light side. And what happens at this point is for myself is that it's like an onion it's in the world's largest onion, right? And it's never going to end up getting peeled away. You're never going to get to the middle of the onion. So what I've noticed is it's periods like what I'm going through right now. It's two weeks of general stability, and then a week of all right, something's come in and I've got to deal with it,
Yeah.
and so all right, reframe, re-energize, reshuffle, and after so many years, after almost 10 years going through this, it's I know, okay, here it comes, and we'll go sit through it and write through it, and the epiphanies will come. But what now, instead of years later, it's, you know, 8 hours later, right?
I love that.
It's right. Instead of 10 years later. No, it's like 6 hours later. In some cases, the epiphanies are like 5 minutes later. And it's like, okay, cool. We're good. We don't have to even go in the hole. I'm not even saying going in the hole, but going that energetic space where you got to go and I don't like to go. I really don't try to go back into it. But
Right.
we all know what that space is. If you've been in the dark night of the soul, you know where you have to climb down into that space to climb back up for a minute. It's you're like, all right, here we go. All right, I'm ready. Let's do what we got to do here. And, right.
Let's do this, Brutus. That's I'm telling
That's
you.
it.
I get it.
But yeah, so it comes, and but now when it comes, it's like 5 minutes or an hour, or by the end of the day, it's like, oh wait a minute, I've been in this space, chunk, smack, and the energy, I smack my, and the energy shifts real quick. Because I know we learn our patterns. We learn what we learn about ourselves, and we clear once it's clear, and you can start stringing together a few days of feeling at peace inside yourself. Then you start to know when you're not, exactly. Before, it was the peace was the rarity, and now the peace is the commonality. It's the common.
Um, Hello, everybody joining us. KL, Play, I don't think I said hi to you. Thank you, Maru. Yeah, this running this channel ain't cheap, so anything helps. We've got a lot of people here. And if you do have questions for Josh, do me a favor, put them in capitals with some emojis and I will mark them. I'm trying to get through the interview quickly because Josh has offered to channel for us this evening, and I
I can
really
channel through
want
the interview. However, yeah, throughout the
no,
interview
we're
too.
gonna separate those. I want to talk
Sure,
to Josh, not the higher
absolutely.
beings right now. um, so the star card. We're gonna jump over the tower because you already talked about epiphanies and um the dark night of the souls and how you cycle through things. The star card is about direction and hope. Where do you see yourself going spiritually?
Spiritually, right now, more centered. Getting more centered. That's the biggest thing. Finding finding my physical footing now. I can sit in myself and feel at peace. I can, take a walk and be in nature and be at peace. But now it's a matter of learning spiritually, because it's once you realize that you haven't been directing your universe most of your life, and you've been letting the energies of whatever's coming in based off your emotions direct your life, damn, you then it gets right. You gotta, all right, so now how do I direct my universe? And that's a spiritual deal. And let's be honest, a lot of us, it's like, okay, I don't have it. It's like the greatest American hero, right? He lost the instruction manual to the suit. And so, but we have no instruct, right? So he kept banging in the walls, eventually figured it out. And that's kind of the phase that I'm at now. It's like, and the crazy, I have to figure out how to, my lease is coming up, so it's figuring out in the universal sense, moving my universe to my, Cincinnati to be back with my mom for more healing, and to heal that. And so that's all spiritual when you because it's learning now how am I directing my energies and not letting the outside direct me. I'm not sitting in panic about it and letting the panic direct me, which is what I would have done before. And so it's learning then that I am a spiritual being, and learning that what do I want to do and create and how do I move forward. And so really that's what's next for me. When I see myself spiritually, it's learning how to direct that energy, and now how to build a universe in 3D, honestly. And
Awesome.
how to do
Speaking of
so.
universe,
Yes.
how I'm confused on something. Please clear this up. Your name is Josh Kanowitz.
Yes.
Your channel is called Mr. Floyd's Universe.
Yes.
Discuss.
Okay. Well, the whole reason for Mr. Floyd was the original avatar that I had on YouTube was a picture of David Gilmour from like 2015 at the United Center, playing the solo from Comfortably Numb, and it
Oh,
was perfect because the screens were round, and so they used round screens on each side of David, and so it was perfect, and so I fit it right into, and so then I was like, okay, this will be fun. I'll just be Mr. Floyd, right? And so it
right.
was a whole Pink Floyd reference, and so I just left Mr. Floyd there and just changed the avatar. But Mr. Floyd represents, like Mr. Smith represents, all of us, anyways.
Right. Okay, I get it. Now it makes sense.
Yeah,
It's like I meant to ask you that
without
at the
the
beginning.
Yeah, without the picture of David Gilmour leaning over the guitar, it doesn't really make much sense. Yeah, totally.
Okay, so um the moon. The moon shines a light on all that is evolving and emerging. Um, do you see your abilities as a channeler growing in ways that you were aware of, or is this all like totally brand new? I know you
It's
talked
not brand.
about,
Go ahead.
go ahead. Oh, I was
It's
gonna
not.
say, I know you talked about fumbling into walls, but finding your own path.
No, channeling at this point. is no. As far as channeling goes, one day, I mean, and I'm not. There's no ego about any channeling horns or any. But yeah, I mean, we all seen Bashar walk across stage and stuff. So I don't know. One day, I just have this feeling that it's bigger than that. I'm seeing it going. It's we always see what our a lot of us, especially if you've been in a small space, you'll see your gift in a small space. Even though you see it, I see this as a gift, but I'm not seeing it as large as you guys actually probably are. Let me be honest. And so, but I know that at some point this is bigger than there's because I don't know, but I I see myself. I see it in a bigger light. Yes. Do I see and I see myself. I just see a room of people and a big just helping people by doing one-on-one sessions as well, and which I do now, helping
I
people
think you froze.
in channel. Am I still? I'm still there. I think you froze. Oh, Bobby froze. I'm watching the live go. All right, so Bobby's frozen, guys. Let me see. I'm gonna go into the chat here. Can you guys? I don't know if it's working on his end. Can you guys see me? But I'm still here. But I think Bobby is frozen. Yes, you're good. Okay, so it's me. All right, so welcome. So yeah, so all right, so I have to, all right, so let's do here we go. All right, so Bobby's frozen, but you guys can see me. So this is kind of an interesting deal here. So I'm watching the clock tick by. So all right, so here we go. I'm gonna do a channeling for you, or at least do a quick one here. Here comes Bobby. He's coming back. Did we get him?
Okay, you guys.
There he goes. All right, so we got you back. I was gonna entertain the audience here.
No, apparently we're having bad weather issues around my area. So I'm just switching to the phone. I was like, shit. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, so now I can see chat easier actually. Huh. All right, so what I want to know is what makes you happy. Let's talk about the sun card.
What makes me happy? That's a good question because I'm still kind of learning that. Let's be honest. What makes me happy? Finding peace in my just being at peace. What makes me happy? Helping others honestly does make me happy. Seeing you know what made me happy? Seeing Chloe's crystals go live. That's what made me happy. Honestly, after all the energies and seeing all that, what makes me happy? Just watching seeing a rainbow on a peaceful day. Watching the eagles fly over the lake. Just at this point, most things that'll tie to happiness also tie to me finding peace inside myself and being in a peaceful state. Um, to be honest, and so I did get to see Paul McCartney over the weekend, so that was amazing. So that made me
Did you? That's
yeah.
pretty awesome.
So yeah, so that was so yeah, so yeah, so there but I'm still learning all of that. I learned through all of this that yeah, I was sitting in some pretty miserable space and so grateful. I'm happiness is something that I'm learning on a daily basis. It's something I'm not trying to chase either. It's cuz it can be fleeting, but more peace than anything at this point.
Okay. I'm going to pull a fast one right here. Watch this.
Cool. Spin. Or he's going back to the computer. All right, so it's back to me. Hi guys.
There I am.
Bingo. Back to the computer.
Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. Weather sucks. We're in monsoon season here in Arizona, so
Ooh, favor.
we have all kinds of fun going on. There's no storm outside right now, but um, Krista says she's been accused of being a channel. Accused. I like the way you word that. Accused of being a
All right.
channel, but you never learned. Um, that brings us to it's a great segue for the judgment card. The judgment card is about transformation. What would you say to somebody who's realizing they're undergoing this kind of transformation?
Give themselves a break. Let it happen. And the biggest thing that I've learned is to not to just let go. Try to stop fighting yourself. because you're not in control. If you're falling into the dark night of the soul, you're not in control of what's happening. As far as the dark night goes, that's the body shaking off all the trauma out of your DNA that it needs to. And so I would tell somebody at that point is to release, to let go, and it's something that it's a concept that may not be understood, but to try to practice presence as best as possible in the chaotic situation, the chaotic energies. If you're going through, if you're coming into your gifts, then trust and allow and let them flow into you.
I
Because
honestly
that's
believe that, yeah, that makes sense. I honestly believe that if you're a channel, the divine beings aren't going to jump out behind a door and say, ah, and scare you. They're going to evolve into a way to where you could have a nice communication with them.
exactly. Exactly.
I'll admit,
For myself, it was Archangel Raphael who literally tapped. I had been in the Dark Night of Soul for about 7 years, and I literally was tapped on. And I was literally tapped on the shoulder by Archangel Raphael. And it's like, you're done. It's time to start moving forward in some fashion. And so, yeah, so let those things happen, whatever it is, it's going to happen.
I love it. Good night, Joey. Enjoy your dinner. Um, so our final card is the world card. It's a great big world out there. Where would you like to visit?
Where would I like to visit? That's a good question. Um, I don't have a specific bucket list. Of course, we could always do the Machu Picchu and all of that. But honestly, Buchenwald concentration camp would be one because my grandfather liberated it. And so out of respect for him, I'd like to go see that. Um, Water. I don't care where. Tahiti, anywhere of those types of places. I'm not specific on one or Aruba, one or the other. But as a Cancer, stuck here in the mountains, water. So anywhere, anyway, it could Miami, anywhere where there's water. But really, honestly, my mother's apartment at this point, honestly, because I've been estranged for so long that it sounds crazy, but yeah, finally after
It
10
doesn't
years
sound crazy.
and some of this here by giving her a hug and moving forward here, but yeah, so that would be one of the places on the list. But otherwise, I've always wanted to go to Tokyo and see if you can buy underwear from a vending machine. You can buy everything else, but just underwear. I don't know why, but just underwear from a vending machine in Tokyo.
I've been in a couple bars you could buy underwear in, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, it would be a whole different universe. But the streets of Tokyo, there you can buy whole sweatsuits out of a vending machine. So why not underwear? And that was
All
as a kid.
right.
When I started seeing the vending machines as like a teenager, I was like, I'm gonna go buy some underwear in Tokyo.
All right, I'm gonna scan back up right now. Josh, we do have a couple questions for you.
Sure.
Um, KL would like to know what is her purpose, please? That's
Oh,
kind of a big one, but
your purpose, honestly, like everybody's purpose, is to realize that you're source and to stand in that light and realize that all the drama has been all there to realize that none of it's real and that you're just source love walking on earth. Anything else, the purpose is whatever you choose to create, and that's going to come from your soul. But you're as far as physical purpose, but for body and soul, it's to wake up. That's your source.
awesome. And to answer your question, Millie, Selena decided I'm not worthy of her time. No, just kidding. She's traveling right now. She's on her way to Gettysburg. She will be talking to us live from Gettysburg this Thursday night.
Cool.
So make sure you guys tune in. See, I'm going up. I'm going up. I have to hold my glasses up, Josh, because if I don't, I do the Pez head thing with
Oh, one of
my
these things, yeah. I'm fully familiar with the look at my nostrils look.
Exactly. Selena pointed out that I have white nose hairs one night. All
Nice.
right. I don't see.
Yeah, if you have any questions, I'm open to anything.
Okay, here we go. I have a question, but not sure how to explain it. The movie Avatar, where they go into another realm. What if you feel that way in your reality, if that makes sense? I never saw Avatar, so I don't.
Yeah, well, in Avatar, there's this guy, the main character sits down into, I guess the best way to put it is if you're of the idea of, or the possibility that there are people here who come through like portals on ships, like they're laying down in a pod and then they end up on Earth as in a
Right.
meat suit walking around. And then they do their life. They wake up, poof, they're in the spaceship. They climb out of the pod and they go on with their day, right? And so the idea on Avatar is that he's in a pod and he's walking around in the meat suit of them. And so is that in a lot of ways that's kind of what we're doing is we're source in a meat suit. And if you can feel that, if you're feeling that separation there, then that's, I mean, that's what it's all about. Is just like in the literally just like in the movie Avatar with us. We're that energy that's been put into that meat suit, and now we got to figure out how to move the arms and the legs and everything else. So if you're feeling that disassociation, then you're spot on because what you're coming to is realizing that you're not the body, but you're the source energy that's running that body, and you're starting to sit in that frame instead of sitting in the frame of I am my body. I am the energy that runs the body instead. If that's the case, then yeah, you're going to see things in a whole different light because you're going to see it all as you're going to
Okay.
see it through that frame.
Let's talk about energy for a second, everybody. And I invite everyone to join me on this picture a room full of about 10 people, all different ages, all different sizes, all different races. Um, Now, each one of those people has a glow about them. They're starting to glow. Now, imagine swiping right and their bodies disappear and the room disappears, but the glow is still there.
Yep,
That's one of my favorite visualizations for seeing a person's energy.
that's great.
Um, so, if you're wondering how to start visualizing energy, that's a great place. Um, Krista says, "Oh my God, I do feel like." um, Yeah, energy is unique to each
Awesome.
individual person. I am not going to feel things the same way Josh does. We have a lot of things in common, believe it or not.
Mhm.
And but the reality of it is we see things through different filters, through our realities. We were raised different. We saw different things. So what he feels is not going to necessarily be the
Everybody's an
same thing.
energetic, everybody's energy, right? And so we're all our own
Right.
individual toroidal field. You're literally a toroidal field. You're spinning an energy field, spinning. And each one is our own individual energy field. And so the only time, so 6 feet apart. So, like, for example, when we're crossing and moving around, our energies will cross paths and cross with each other. And that's what creates the bigger Merkaba that we see. But yeah, so you're just that spinning energy within the body itself. And so some are vibrating and spinning at a lot faster rate, some are spinning at a lot slower rate. And then you can see it based on what they're doing inside, how they're living their lives and whatnot.
All right, everybody. Last chance to ask Josh a question. I don't think I've ever had anybody channel Saint Germain before. Can you tell us more about Saint Germain?
Saint Germain he was a prophet. Saint Germain, honestly, he's considered like the alchemist, the grand alchemist. Um, he was back in the 1500s, 1600s in France. But Saint Germain these days, he doesn't. There's a delineation. I'm going to give you this. If you're all right, I'm going to jump. You ready for me to channel here? He's
Go for it. Do it,
Saint
dude.
Germain, we are grateful that you are here. We are channeling through Josh for you. When I channel through Josh, and we want to make a statement here, I do not give him much of the old Saint Germain. We are talking new Saint Germain. Yes, I am an alchemist. Yes, I lived in France. Yes, I've been all over the world. And yes, I have lived multiple lifetimes through multiple different people, but we aren't worried about that or any of that today. When we are talking about Saint Germain, through Josh and only through Josh, if you want to learn other Saint Germains, go see Adamus Saint Germain and you will understand old me. in a lot of different energetic ways. But I've walled Josh off from all of that because I want Josh and you all to understand that you are all Saint Germaine. You are all the new energy of the violet flame and that you are all your own grand alchemist. I don't care who I was. I want you to know who you are now. And I do not and have not charged Josh, honestly, with even looking into my history. That is why he has not done much. Because we are channeling as we are now, the energy of who I am, which is the energy of who you are. And if you understand the magic and the magician that you are, and the energy that you create, and that you are here and have been here throughout time, through all time, and that you are always here through all time and throughout all time, whether in this frame or another, you will understand that you and Saint Germain are the same energy, and that you, just like Saint Germain, stand in your frame, stand in the violet flame that you are. We are here to discuss who you are today as Source, as the energy of love walking on planet Earth, as God, right? The grand alchemist was Saint Germain, but you are the grand sauce, right? And it is my job through Josh to help you to see that you are sauce love on earth, that you are the grand creator of your universe, and that there is nothing that you can't do. If you figure out that you are not the traumas and the dramas that have happened for you, to allow you to break free, to see that you are source. If you did not have some dark layer in front of you, if you were not standing in the darkness of who you thought you were, then you cannot grow through that darkness to see the light that you are, to grow through it, to stand in that light. That is what is going on and why you are charged to be here, right? It is for you to stand in your light, why you are here, to stand in that frame, to understand that whatever happens in your universe is here to stand, help you to stand as source, as God, as Saint Germain, right? There is no difference in any of our energies. It is the vibration of what you are feeling inside your body that is the difference, right? We are all the same electric toroidal field spinning around, atoms spinning with each other. There's no difference in my atoms or your atoms. The only difference that you are seeing is based off of your programming. And it is Saint Germain's charge through Josh to help you to see that you are not the programming that your mama or your papa has laid into you. You are not the programming that the school systems have placed into you. You are not the programming that the governments are giving you. And you are not the programming that you watch on your televised vision. You are source love. You are the energy of love. You are the grand creator of your universe through being, through love, through light, not through physicality. And if you are an understanding of who you really are, you will see a whole nother universe. Mother Goddess Isis is here as well. We are working through Josh because Josh has many mother wounds, many traumas that he is dealing with. And he is a good vessel to help healing his traumas. The hope that you can heal your traumas, seeing his healing, seeing the changes are hopefully going to transfer to you. You are here to heal. You are not here to be the dramas that you have been standing in. Mother Isis wants you to understand that whatever you have been through in your universe has only been there to help shape you better into seeing your light through your darkness. This is the test that we go through on this planet, healing the darkness through the light. And if you are not an understanding of that, then you are not an understanding of the purpose you have here as the light on this planet, right? You are that light. Stand in that light. Mother Isis wants you to understand when you are feeling down, that is not who you are. When you are thinking lack, that is not who you are. When you are feeling wounded, that is not who you are. When you are feeling sad, that is not who you are. You are not any of that. You are love. You are the light, and you are your own hope. Can you see that? Can you stand in that frame? And can you be that energy? Isis is asking you to stand in that frame today, to see yourself You look in the mirror. Do not see yourself as this fleshy meat suit. Do not see yourself as your body full of trauma, but see yourself as light, as love, as your own hope for your universe. If you have hope for your universe and you step forward into your light, into your healing, and we all do the same, what happens? We heal as one big planet, right? We heal as one bigger energy, and we heal as one soul, as we really are on this planet, divided through energy. So we have different experiences in each and every one of us. There is no separation. We are all one soul, one bigger energy. And if you are to understand that source cannot have just one experience, but is experiencing everything through each and every one of you in one unified field, then you will understand who and what you play and how important your role actually is in this whole play. It is your job to pick up the ball, so to speak, in your universe and heal yourself. Nobody's going to bring the ball of healing to you. Nobody's going to kick the ball down to you and you pick it up and are healed. It is your job to get onto the playing field and put yourself in the game. Are you understanding? Isis wants to make sure you understand. White Buffalo Calf Woman here. And it's my job through Josh to help you stay on path. Are you on any path? Or are you allowing the energies of other universes that are bouncing in and out of your life to create your universe for you? That is one thing White Buffalo Calf Woman will never tolerate for anybody, is to see them not create their own universe through their own energies, but allow the traumas and dramas to create the universe for them. It's your job to clear those dramas, to clear those traumas, so that you can stand in your frame and create your universe. And it is my job to help you find that path, to help you see that the eagle's flying overhead, that the sun's shining in your face, that the water flowing in front of you are all signs, are all part of who you are all here to help you, to guide you to being your best source on planet Earth. That you are there's no separation between you, the water, the eagles, and the trees. That you are once the tree, you are the flow of the water, and you are able to reach the heights of all the eagles yourself while being firmly planted on the ground. Are you in understanding? We say this throughout Two Josh channels because we want you to understand how important you are, how important these messages are, and how important it is to see yourself not as this fleshy meat suit, not as the traumas and the dramas and the things that you thought happened to you and how you are the Charlie Brown energies that you would stand in. It is your job to dust all that off, to stand up and to have your Rocky Balboa moment, so to speak, and stand strong, stand in that bear energy, stand tall. Be who you are. You are everything wrapped up in energy. When you can see that, you can be that. White Buffalo Calf Woman wants you to understand that when your feet are firmly planted on Mother Gaia, you have the resources of all of planet Earth underneath your feet. And if you are not seeing that, you are seeing yourself small energy. We love you. All of us who are channeled through Josh today love you. Want you to see yourselves in the greater picture as the highest loving light, as the energy of all, and as the same energy as everybody in this broadcast today. We are only separated so that Source has different fields of view. But nonetheless, everyone you run into is that same Source. You are an understanding, then you are already miles ahead. Do not conflate yourself to the traumas and the dramas that have happened for you, not to you, right? It is through those traumas, through those dramas, through that darkness, when you see that beacon of light, that little bit of energy flowing through and coming through the crack, When you can see that light and you reach for it and you pull the next brick out and you pull the next brick out and you break down this energy and the light gets bigger, you shine stronger. You stand stronger in that source love. Your dramas and traumas fall away. When you reach that, you will know. You are source. You are that energy. You are the same energy as all of Mother Gaia. Be that love. Stand in that frame. We are releasing transmission. Sorry. Hello. Sorry. Hi there.
Hello.
Uh,
There you go, people.
oof.
Maru, if you're still in chat or one of my mods, can you post Josh's channel? I want to make sure everybody has a chance to
And
subscribe.
if we want any more channeling, I can do so. If there's anything specific anybody has a question on to any of the guides, I can actually answer it. So if you have a question to Archangel Raphael, Saint Germaine Goddess, Isis, Quanian, White Buffalo, Half Woman, Sekhmet, or Archangel Raphael, I can, or Archangel Michael, I can answer those. You ask him. It's not questions about them. Just like in Saint Germain, I was guided not to bring up his history or anything specific, but answering about energetics or otherwise, they're happy to help. They don't want to conflate me with any of their history or anything else because they're doing something different with me.
All right, you guys. Intuitive Insight says white light, Josh. Or what light, Josh?
But like, you are the light.
Not,
What do you mean? I'm not seeing a question in there.
no, me neither. I'm not understanding the question. I would like to have you back on for channeling, Josh.
You
Unfortunately,
got
I
it.
do have to wrap this up soon. I have a client. Um, and then
Yeah,
after that,
anytime.
I'm gonna go back live tonight, you guys, with Maru. Um, so
Cool.
she said white light.
White
All
light.
right.
Oh,
I still don't know what that means, but we'll try to get. All right, this is the
and,
last
you,
question we're gonna do, you guys, because anything with a crow in it, I'm there for.
and I
Can you
don't
ask?
know Laughing Crow, but I can ask White Buffalo Calf Woman though, because she works with Path, my Path on planet Earth, and she's sitting right in front of me too, on my wall. White Buffalo Calf Woman here. You are wondering about your path. Are your feet firmly planted on Mother Gaia? Is the first question. When you are talking about are you on the right path, White Buffalo Calf Woman wants you to see something first. Get out into nature. This is your project, right? Your charge. Go out into nature. Stand there with your hand on your heart. Look around for a moment and take a breath. With your hand on your heart, ask that same question again when you are leaning against a tree or looking at the water or seeing an eagle fly overhead or sitting on Mother Gaia. Only you can answer if you are on the right path. What I am asking is for you to be in a centered space to do so. Your path is up to you. Are you harming? There's another way to answer this, though. Are you harming people? Are you cheating, lying, or stealing? Are you manipulating energies? Or are you using witchery in a negative way? Are you doing karmic energetics or things that you know are not correct? If you're not doing any of that, then whatever path you are on is better than probably than the path you were on before. And most of us aren't doing any of those things any further, right? So if you are not doing any of those things, whatever path you are on is going to be the right path for you. And no matter where you are, if you are on a path right now, guess what? That is your path, because that is the path you are currently on. But if you want to feel into if you are on the correct path, all you need to do is stand upon Mother Gaia. Take a deep breath and ask that question again. You will get the answer you are looking for because you are asking somebody else to define your universe, and nobody can do that for you but you. Releasing transmission.
Awesome. So, you guys, please make sure you subscribe to Mr. Floyd's Universe. Josh, I want to thank you again for joining us and for bringing your spirit team with you.
Absolutely.
Everybody, I will see you on Thursday night. We're going live. Oh, actually, no.
So yeah,
Wednesday afternoon, I will be on with Joey, doing our thing. Y'all know. And then Thursday night, Selena will be broadcasting live from the site of the Civil War battlefield, Gettysburg. So what happens when you send a witch to a haunted spot known for ghost activity? We're gonna find out. All right, everybody. Love you. Love you all. Josh, hang around. We'll talk for a minute backstage. I love y'all, but I
thank you
gotta
guys.
go eat. And always remember, never let your future be defined by your past, you guys. All right? Love you. Bye.